boys and girls, it is time for a new unit in math. I'm so excited. For our lesson today, we're going to start off by doing a little bit of review. And so if you have a whiteboard or a chalkboard or pencil and paper, you're going to want it for this part. We're going to go over some story problems. You guys always really enjoy the story problems, especially when we were in class and we would use our bodies to be part of the story problems. We can't do that today, but if you have some little toys, you could use those, or markers or whatever, or you can just draw it on your whiteboard, which is what I'm going to do. So I have my whiteboard marker and my whiteboard, and I am ready. If you don't have those things, go ahead and pause the video and go get them and come on back. Thank you for getting your stuff. Here we go. So I know that when I look around in the world, I see many, many things that can help me think of a math story problem. One thing that I think about that I could maybe write a story about is if I look out my front window, I see some trees. And remember, when we do math, and we make the math drawing on our whiteboard, we're not going to make it super detailed because that would take us a long time. So we can make a picture that looks close to a tree and doesn't take us a long time to draw. If I was to draw a tree with lots of details, it would take me a really long time to do my math problem, right? So we're not going to use a lot of details. Uh-oh, where did my, there it is, it fell down. So we're just going to use a symbol that could kind of look like a tree, right? There we go, that looks like a tree. So that would work. Now, before you draw anything, listen to the math problem. When I look out my front window, I see 3 trees. When I look out my back window, I see 2 trees. How many trees do I see all together? Now we just listened to the math problem first so that we can kind of think about what we might need to draw to help us solve the problem. So I'm going to repeat the problem again, and this time we're going to think about what we would need to draw to help us solve the problem. When I look out my front window, I see 3 trees. I'm thinking that's going to be important, so I'm going to go ahead and draw 3 trees on this side of my board. And I want you to do that with me. And remember that the trees don't have to be fancy. They can just kind of look like a tree, right? So I drew 3 trees because I see those out my front door. Then I said, when I look out my back window, I see 2 trees. I'm not going to put them right next to my 3 trees, because I want to make sure that I keep them separate so I can listen to the math problem. So when I look out my back window, I see 2 trees, okay? So now I've got my 3 trees out my front window and my 2 trees out my back window. But then I said, how many trees do I see all together? And when I'm asking something like all together, that means I need to count them all together, so I'm going to need to add them, right? I'm not taking anything away. Subtraction means take away. I'm not taking anything away, so I'm not subtracting. Addition means bringing more together. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to know how many trees I have all together. So I'm going to put my addition symbol between both sets of the problem. Now to help me write the math equation, I'm going to count the trees here and write the number underneath. 1, 2, 3. I need a 3 plus 1, 2, and then I do always need to have my equal sign so I know what I'm looking for. So 3 trees plus 2 trees equals how many trees all together? If I don't know, I can always count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I must have 5 trees all together. 3 plus 2 is 5. Very good. Let's erase that one. If you're using pencil and paper, you can just draw below the one you just created. If you have a chalkboard or a whiteboard, then you can quickly erase. Okay, so now we're going to do another one, and this one is going to be something that is a little different, so we need to listen, okay? So we're not going to draw yet. We're going to listen to the whole math problem first. Markers down, hands up. Okay, when I look out my front window, I see 3 trees. But the tree guy cut down one of my trees. How many trees do I have left? So this one's different, right? You can already hear it sounds different. So let's do it together. Markers up, pencils up, chalk up. When I look out my front window, I see 3 trees. We're still going to need to start with 3 trees. So you're just going to draw your 3 trees. And not a lot of detail, right? And then I said, when I look out my front window, I see 3 trees. But the tree guy cut down one of my trees. How many trees do I have left? So did he take away a tree or add a tree? He took it away. He cut it down. So cross one of your trees out. Now, to write the math equation, we need to look at how many trees we had to start before we took any away. When we started, we had 1, 2, 3 trees. Then we took 1 tree away. How many trees do we have left? 2. There's only 2 trees left. Very good. I'm going to stop this video so that it doesn't get too long, but please join me for video number 2 where we actually do our workbook page lesson, okay?